Thanks for joining David, Kevin, Alex, and myself for the educational video for the month of July. We hope you and your families are having a fantastic summer. Don't ever forget, if you have questions, to give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. In today's topic, we're going to talk about property tax deferral. What is it? What has changed? And who it's still useful for? So I'm going to pass you over to the guys, but again, don't ever forget, if you have questions, need anything, please give us a call. Off to the guys.
Thanks, Harry. So, a few years ago, we did another video on property tax deferral where we basically had a simple message. If you qualified, defer your property tax. The program was so good that it was almost a no brainer. Now, fast forward to today, and our advice is changing. And not because the program itself has gone away, but because the rules within the program have been rewritten as part of the 2026 BC budget. So, today we want to walk through three main topics. One, what is property tax deferral? Two, what specifically has changed within the program? And three, why is this program no longer an automatic yes for people? So, Alex, what is deferment?
Thanks, Kevin. So, the property tax deferment program lets eligible homeowners defer paying their property taxes into a later date. Now, you're not avoiding paying these taxes entirely. What's happening is that the government of BC is paying your property taxes for you, and you're ending up taking out a loan with them. Now, you're taking out a loan on your home, and there's a lien secured on the property for the government of BC. And then the loan ends up getting repaid at a later date. So this could either be when you sell your home or, you decide you want to pay it off, or if something happens and it goes through your estate. Now, today we're focusing just on the regular property tax deferment program, which is for homeowners age 55 or older, people with disabilities, and surviving spouses. And for years, this really was a powerful cash flow tool, and that's why we recommended it so freely in the past. However, with some of the new changes that happened to the program in this last year's budget, Kevin's going to go through what changed, and then we'll follow up with whether or not we think this program is truly a no-brainer for everyone anymore.
So, let's go over what's changed. And this really boils down to two words: rate and compounded. Under the old program, which, by the way, still applies to any property tax that you've deferred in 2025 or earlier, you would defer your property taxes, and the province of British Columbia would charge you an interest rate of prime minus 2%. And that was simple interest, meaning you were only ever charged interest on the taxes you deferred. You weren't paying interest on top of the original interest. And it was this low non compounding rate, which is what made this program so attractive for people who qualified. Under the new rules, you're paying prime plus 2%, and that interest rate is compounded monthly, meaning that you're paying interest on top of some of the interest you've already paid. And because it's compounding, the balance that you owe is actually growing much, much faster. So let's put some numbers behind what we're talking about. If you take a look at the chart on your screen, you can see that under the old rules, you're paying prime minus 2%, and your approximate effective rate of interest that you were paying was around 2.5%, and that was simple interest. Under the new rules of prime plus 2%, that moves your effective rate to around 6.5%, meaning you're paying roughly 4% more, and that interest rate is compounding.
Looking at the numbers, now why does this change our recommendation for this program? The old strategy was really straightforward. You borrow from the province at a below market rate, you're charged simple interest, and you either keep your own cash in your pocket to spend, or you keep that cash invested, and you probably earn a better rate of return on those investments than the program was charging you. When the loan costs less than 3% and doesn't compound, that math normally always works out in your favor. However, now that the program has changed at roughly 6.5% interest that's compounding, that gap really starts to narrow or disappear. A lot of analysts that we've seen who have been reviewing and commenting on this new program have actually noted it's less of a property tax deferment now and almost more of a reverse mortgage on your home with the rates that you're paying. And a lot of the time, you might even be able to get a better loan rate at your own personal bank than proceeding with this program here. This doesn't mean necessarily that it's now a bad idea and that we wouldn't recommend this program for anybody. However, now we need to take a closer look at whether or not this program is really right for you. If you really are cash flow tight and need that extra money every year to help maintain and sustain your current lifestyle needs, then this program still might make sense for you. However, if you were in the group that was deferring your property taxes to keep that money invested and growing faster than the loan against it, that reality is sadly no longer the case. What it means now is that now it's a real decision with pros and cons to each trade off. And the right answer really just depends on your cash flow needs, your investments and your risk tolerance on those investments, and your health and your current estate goals.
So to wrap up, we want to leave you with 2 points. The first, if you are already enrolled in the property tax deferral program and you are set to auto renew this year, just know that when it renews for the 2026 tax year and forward, that you're renewing under the new higher terms of this program, unless you actively opt out, which you can do by logging into your eTax BC account or by contacting the province directly. Second, before you go and renew your renew deferring your property taxes this year or defer for the first time, reach out to us. Let us run the numbers and make sure that this program still aligns with your financial goals and your financial plan that we've set out for you. It may be that this is still a great program for you. As Alex said, it does have some pros to it. They're just pros and cons that need to be weighed out. But we may determine that this is no longer the best option for you, and then we can give you some guidance on how to make changes on a go forward basis. So if you have questions, reach out to Harry, David, Alex, or myself anytime.